I'm so annoyed. I've had such a bad hair day. Like, what is going on here? Also, it's a bit dark. Power up that mirror. Oh. Okay, we're getting a little bit more bright in here now. But anyways, guys, of course my hair would decide to not hair when I'm going out all day with my sister in London, which is just great. But obviously, you know, it's starting to come to the end of summer now. We're not going to be able to just be going out to London all the time whenever you fancy. So I thought best thing to do is, why don't we do like a little back to school advice Q&A video for you guys, because I've finished school now. If you guys don't know, YouTube is my job. I'm so happy to be able to say that. It actually feels such a surreal feeling. And today is actually August 16th, which is like my little 1 year anniversary of hitting 100,000 subscribers on my Roblox channel. So thank you guys so much. But I definitely feel like going back to school can be quite a difficult time, especially if you're moving from like primary school to secondary school, if you're moving up to high school, even if you're just going back to the school that you was at before summer break started. It can be like a bit of an anxious and difficult time for people because you've just had like a ton of weeks off. Even, I mean, in the UK you get 6 weeks off, but in other countries, like some of my American friends, they literally get months off school and then come back. Like, it's a little bit hard to get back into routine sometimes. So I thought, what's the best thing to do? Give you guys some advice, seeing as I am an old wise woman now, not going back to school ever again. So I might as well pass on my knowledge that I've taken with me through my school years to you guys, because I've had my fair share of experiences at school. So, you know guys, as I always do, my phone is charging. It's a bit hard to show you, but I put a little question box on my story saying, put your back to school questions in the comments section and I will answer for a YouTube video. So we're gonna get straight into it. But just like a little side note of advice for going back to school, one of those things that you definitely need is a good school bag, especially if you are like me and love to have, you know, your little spray, your perfume, bit of lip gloss, a pot of chewing gum, you know, all of that stuff on the side of going to school. Don't forget the important things, of course, pencil case, pens, all of that. You definitely need a good bag, and I have very kindly been gifted a beautiful bag from Teddy Blake, New York. Guys, when I received this package, I was so excited. However, obviously I'm not going to school anymore, so they very kindly let me choose which one I wanted, and I got more of like a little going out like shoulder bag. So this one is quite small, but they do a ton of bags on their page, like proper big bags that you could use for going to school. So I'll link their page down in the description, and their aim is to kind of make designer bags at a more affordable price. And I have like never really treated myself to a more higher end bag, so I'm so grateful for Teddy Blake for letting me have the opportunity to get this bag. So I'm just going to quickly open it with you guys because I haven't opened it yet, but oh, it looks so nice. The packaging is so like fancy. It says Teddy Blake, New York, designer handbags made in Italy, luxury leather. So these are obviously more on the higher end, but if you guys were even looking for just like a little day out bag, I just thought, seeing as bags are quite a big thing for school, I thought it'd be the perfect video to show you guys, you know, this bag. But like I said, obviously this one is more of a going out one. So as you can tell, I've obviously got like quite a small one. I'm just gonna open up this packaging, but the packaging is honestly unreal. So it comes in like this little bag like this, and like I said, obviously this is like a little going out bag. Oh my gosh, stop, I love it. It was so sweet of them as well. They let me choose which one I wanted, which was so kind. But let me show you guys it. So this is there, it's got a name. I can't quite remember what this one's called if you wanted it as well, but I will put it on the screen. So this is the bag that I chose. It's honestly so lovely. The quality of the leather is so thick, it's insane. And it also says Teddy Blake, New York on the front of it. It's just so like detailed. The handle as well, you can tell like this is not cheap. Like, it is very nice quality. I just love it so much. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna use it today to go out to Camden with my sister. And it's also got like one of these as well, like, you know, like the little lock things, so you know you can keep your stuff safe, of course. And obviously it's got like the tissue paper in it right now, but you can even just tell from the inside, like it's literally got some gold writing there. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Teddy Blake, made in Italy. But yeah, obviously this one is more of like a going out bag, but they do bigger bag size as well for like if you was looking for maybe like a back to school bag. But like I said, these are definitely more on the higher end, but the quality of them is just pure perfection. And you know, sometimes like when you're at school you keep going through like multiple bags because they just keep breaking and things like that. These are definitely good quality. So a massive thank you to Teddy Blake for gifting me this beautiful bag. I can't wait to use that today. It's honestly gorgeous. But thank you so much, Hilly Blake. Now I'm gonna get into some of the questions that you guys obviously asked me for back to school, you know, if you need a little bit of advice. So let's get straight into it. Someone said, which I think is a really good one to start off with, how do you get back into routine? Now I used to definitely struggle with this because let's be real guys, when we are on our summer break, we're going to bed at 3 AM, we're out all the time, we're doing things with our friends, we're online like playing games because obviously, you know, you've got more free time. You're not really thinking about school. It's like the thing that's right at the back of your mind. So it can definitely be quite hard to get back into a routine. But what I would say is definitely don't leave it to the last minute, especially with like sleep schedule. So like, why is there builders outside right now? Hold on. Okay, I'm hoping shutting my window did something. But for me, when I was at school, I would definitely like maybe a couple days before try to start getting into that normal sleeping pattern again. So maybe like 2-3 days before, start going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time that you would on a regular school day, just so your brain has like a couple days, you know, to like get used to it. Because obviously if you're leaving it to the day before, you are going to be so tired, especially if you are like really out of routine, because I used to go to bed at like 3-4 AM on the summer break. So yeah, I would definitely recommend like kind of getting used to your school routine, sort of trying to mirror it a bit a couple days before you actually go back, to try get yourself like back into that mindset. I feel like this is a really good one because seeing as we just spoke about bags, there are a lot of things that you need at school. Not what I was saying about perfumes and sprays. Obviously you do want that too, you don't want to stay smelling good, hygiene is key, but obviously things like calculators, pencils, pencil cases, all sort of stationary bits. Someone said, where can I buy scientific calculators? From Molly, your #1 fan. Love you too, Molly. Scientific calculators, you could either get them, I know a lot of like supermarkets do them. This is like a UK thing. Like I know sometimes in like Tesco's and Asda, they kind of have like a little stationery section sometimes, or like a back to school section, but you can go on Amazon. Like if you go on Amazon and type up scientific calculator, they'll come up. I know when I was at school, the teachers definitely recommended, I think they're called Casio calculators. So yeah, I'll put like a picture up on the screen. I definitely recommend those because those are the ones that the teachers usually would recommend you. But yeah, definitely Amazon is always a good one, and sometimes a couple supermarkets do them if they've got like a back to school range. Someone said, what are the best stationery brands in your opinion? I'm so glad someone asked this because when I was growing up in school, especially primary school as well, I feel like it's more of a bigger thing in primary school, but there's like this whole sort of expectation to have really cute pencils, pens, pencil cases, things like being scented, having like little gadgets on them and stuff, because I was Smiggle queen, guys, back in primary school. Oh my gosh, stop. I used to spend so much money on Smiggle. I mean, it's cute, but you can find affordable stationery at like half the price, even cheaper than half, that's still cute and pretty but still does what you need, like, especially being in a day and age where we are online. Like a lot of things, you can buy things online and stuff. It is so easy. Like you do not need to go to all of these expensive stationery shops to get it. Again, I'm gonna recommend Amazon because Amazon, you can literally get the cheapest finds. I mean, I know for girls especially, a lot of girls want to get like pastel everything. That was me. I wanted pastel highlighters, pens, pencils, what do you call them as well, revision cards. Like I wanted all of it to be pastel. Literally go on Amazon, type up pastel pens, pastel pencils, pastel highlighters. They'll come up, and most of the time they're probably going to be cheaper than if you bought them in a shop because you're buying it online. So I would definitely recommend that. And you don't really need to get brands as well, because I just realized they put what are the best stationery brands. Honestly, you don't need to get things on brand as long as you're doing the work, then that's all that matters. Like you buying things that are practical enough to do the work but can be cute at the same time, then that's probably my biggest tip for you guys. And when you get into secondary school anyway, like nobody cares about that stuff. I know in primary school, obviously a lot of people are getting, for me it was Smiggle, but obviously I haven't been in primary school for like 6 years, so I don't know what's the hype these days. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend, don't worry about brands, just get what you want that works, and you can still find like cute variations of it if you go on Amazon for sure. I feel like this is a really good question. For year 5, should I wear a bit of makeup if we're allowed? I'm trying to think, how old are you in year 5? Are you 9 or 10? I don't know. But honestly, when it comes to school, and I know for girls there's a big expectation, like the older you get in school, to look nice all the time, because you know, we see all these people online and things, and it can obviously have a big effect on the way that you think you should look. But at school, when I tell you, honestly, no one is looking. Like, even though you think everyone is looking at you, no one is looking. Like, you honestly do not need to wear makeup. Take this from someone that wore makeup every single day to school for 5 years. Like, in secondary school, I did not ever go one day about makeup. Like, I know that for a fact. Not even on the days that I could be least bothered, because I was just so worried about going to school without makeup because I'd wore it all the time. I always went to school with makeup on, but honestly, you do not need to wear makeup, especially if you're worried about, like, you know, school crushes and things like that. We all get them, don't you worry. They aren't looking, honestly, they really aren't looking. And as well, sometimes, let me tell you, like I said, from someone that wore makeup for 5 years, everyone goes through phases with makeup, and the phases where maybe you're not so good at makeup, because trust me, I had them, people are gonna make bad comments, so maybe sometimes it's the better option to not wear makeup. But yeah, definitely in year 5, I honestly would say don't worry about it. You've got, even if you do want to wear makeup to school, because I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because I honestly love wearing makeup, still love wearing makeup. I love experimenting with makeup and things like that. Just don't worry about having to wear it all the time. There's no expectation. And I would say I wouldn't worry in year 5. You've got so much time in your like school era left to wear makeup and things like that. So honestly, wouldn't worry about it. Someone said, were your mocks harder than GCSEs? I'm starting year 11 in September. I'm so nervous. Honestly, from personal experience and everyone I've spoke to who's been there, done that with year 11, a lot of the time, the mock tests are harder. However, I'm not saying that as a general rule, because obviously schools do things differently. But for me, I know for a fact that the papers that I got, especially in English, the mock tests were a lot harder. But then don't think as well at the same time, oh, these are harder, and because they're mocks, it doesn't matter, I'm just not going to do it. Use the fact that they are harder as a tool for you to do better, because if you're doing harder papers, then when you get to the real thing, it's going to feel so much easier. Like with English, for example, I think in the mock, I got an 8 or a 9. In English language, and then when we did the actual real paper, it was that little bit easier, so it makes you feel more confident in your skills and things like that. Definitely use the fact that they're harder as a tool, because if you can get higher grades in mock papers that are harder, think about the real thing, you're going to smash it. So don't worry about it. I honestly would not be nervous at all. And trust me, I used to sit there and think, like, when is this going to end? But when I actually now sit back and think about it, year 11 goes by so quickly, especially the fact that you finish earlier as well. Near the end too, like, we did end up getting study leave because we kind of bullied the teachers into it. We were like, just let us work at home. But some schools get study leave, so you'll be going home even earlier. And even if you're still in school, because we were still in school for quite some time before we actually got study leave, by the end of it, you are working on your own. Like, we didn't, like, near the end, we would literally just go into the classroom, the teacher would be like, what do you want to do today? And let's just say we wanted to do past paper, they'll just chuck you a past paper and you do it. Do you know what I mean? Because near the end, you kind of have to be ready for that independent learning. That's why I definitely recommend year 11, like, knuckle down and listen from the get-go, because by the time you get to the end, those teachers, although they're going to be there for support, yeah, they're not going to be spoon-feeding it to you, like, because in their mind they thought, well, we've taught you this course for like 2 years, by now this is the time where you should be revising. So definitely recommend using all the tools you get, like those harder mock papers, to excel in your actual exams. And by the way, for any of my watchers that aren't from the UK, GCSEs are like these really big exams that you do at the end of school. It can like determine a lot of things, like kind of like your next steps in education, like where you're going to go, so they are very important. Someone said, is a handbag or a backpack more practical for school? Now this is honestly a question I'm so glad that come up, because I feel like, especially in secondary school, for girls, everyone wants to get a handbag because backpacks are seen as like uncool, they're like cringe or things like that, like just things that people have made up. I would honestly say it's personal preference. Don't get me wrong, handbags do look cute, but they break. Like, especially, it depends how much stuff you carry, to be fair, because I used to carry a lot of books and things with me, like from classes and stuff, just because I used to prefer to have them on me than like leaving in the classroom, because they always ended up going missing for some reason. But yeah, there was times where I think I've had 2 handbags where like the strap broke off of them. I would say, to be fair, it's not that handbags aren't practical, but I definitely think with handbags, let me know if you agree, if you've like had handbags for school, they get very messy, because like where a backpack is more like organized, it's upright, you know, you've got like all the like compartments and things, whatever, for certain items. A handbag, you just kind of keep chucking things in there, and then when you actually do decide to deep clean it, half of it has like, it's almost slipped to the bottom, and there's just like, oh, there's just a lot going on in there. So I would definitely say if you can keep it tidy, handbag is kind of at the same practical level as a backpack, but I would really say it's personal preference. Like, just try a backpack, try a handbag, see what one you prefer. But even though near the beginning of secondary school, I feel like a lot of people think there's like something wrong with backpacks. By the time you get to year 11, I had like loads of friends that have backpacks. Like, it's completely normal. And you can get cute backpacks too. I definitely recommend JD. I've got some nice backpacks. There's one that my friend had that I always wanted it. I was like, I really want it, but I have no reason to get it if I'm not at school. So I haven't actually got it, but there was like a Jordan Air one that she had that was really cute. But yeah, definitely recommend trying both and finding out what your preference is really. Someone said, where are places to shop that are cheap? So honestly, for like pricing, I would definitely say a lot of things online, like Amazon. I know I keep bringing Amazon up, but Amazon is just so cheap, especially if you've got next day delivery. It just comes like that, and it's usually quite cheap. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the stuff I got for school was on Amazon, and it was like half the price. Like, I'm just gonna go on Amazon really quickly and put like stationery kit and see like what the price is that comes up. Stationery kit. Okay, so I've just found some whole kit. It comes with literally like a notepad, a pencil case, sharpener, rubber, those like little grip things that you put on pencils, 12 pencils and colouring pencils, all of that for £11. Like, if you bought that individually in a shop, like, you're talking like it could be above £20. Even this, a 56 pack stationery set, £20. Like, that is so good. But 56 items is crazy. But yeah, literally go onto Amazon, just type stationery kit. If you're like me and you like cute looking things, put pastel stationery set or pastel stationery kit, and you'll find really cheap ones. And speaking of like stationery kits, someone asked what should I have in my emergency kit. So kind of like those go-to things that you need for school. Obviously, I would say that stationery and like school supplies doesn't really count as your emergency kit because they're kind of like a given. Like, you would bring stationery, do you know what I mean? I would definitely say any form of spray. You want to stay hygienic in school, especially if you've got like PE and things like that. I definitely feel like, you know, you want to like freshen up a bit after you've had that PE lesson or things like that. So I definitely say some sort of spray. If of course you're a girl, definitely some sort of like little period emergency kit thing. So I would definitely say like either pads or tampons, whatever your preference is, maybe like a spare pair of underwear as well, just because you never know what could happen. But just in case, like, you know, you don't want to have like some sort of terrible period horror story and then the school's not letting you go home, because sometimes it can be hard for teachers and things to understand. So I would definitely recommend having something for like your period if you're a girl. And I'm trying to think, I feel like that's kind of all I had really. Like I had like a little mini roll-on deodorant, obviously little like period kit thing just in case I was to have any like horror situation happen. But yeah, I would kind of say that's it really. This is a really good question. Someone said, what advice do you give for year 9 starting their GCSE options? Guys, when it comes to your GCSE options, do not pick what your friends picked. Oh, hi Be Real. I haven't done Be Real in months, so I don't know why I've still got it, but anyways, maybe I should start it up again. But yeah, do not pick what your friends are choosing for their GCSEs, because I have a ton of friends from school that chose subjects that their friends were doing just because they didn't want to be by themselves or whatever, ended up absolutely hating it. Like, you've got to do what you want to do. I do get quite a couple questions sometimes as well, like, what did you pick for your GCSEs? So for me, I picked, obviously you have to do maths, English, science, but the actual options, I picked history, psychology and philosophy and ethics, which is like one topic by the way, which is kind of like religious studies, and they all had relevance to things that I was interested in, because if I wasn't doing YouTube, I definitely would have gone into criminal law. So obviously religion and religious studies can be like quite a big part of that. Psychology obviously is a given, you literally study criminology in psychology, and history. If you want to go into law, you need to know a bit of history, do you know what I mean? So even if you don't know what you want to do yet, because obviously when you're in year 9, like, that's such a big thing to think about, or what do you want to do with the rest of your life, but just pick things that you are interested in, subjects that you enjoy, and don't go with what your friends are picking, because honestly you'll make new friends. When you go into those GCSE classes, you will meet people that you haven't been with at all before, and you will make friends with them, so I wouldn't worry about it. Someone said how to keep friendships and how to make them last. Honestly, any worries about friendships, guys, like, friendships will come naturally, even though if you've had like ups and downs of situations at the time, you might be sitting there sobbing like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have no friends, I've messed up this whole friendship group, like I don't know what to do, because it happens to the best of us. You're gonna fall out with people, like that is honestly just human nature. Like, you're not gonna get along with everybody that you come across, and you are gonna have arguments with people, even if they are like your best friend. Like, you do argue with people, do you know what I mean? That is just, like I said, human nature. But if you're worried about friendships lasting, honestly, those true friendships, you will not have to sit and think and worry about them lasting. It will come naturally. So I definitely would not worry about that. If you are having any trouble with friendships, honestly, like, use those opportunities in classes where maybe you don't have your usual friends in, because that's what I did in my maths class. I didn't have any of my friends in that I was friends with in my previous friendship group, and like I started speaking to new girls and things like that, and I eventually ended up moving over to their friendship group just because I got along with them better. They were more my type of people and we just had more things in common, really. But yeah, definitely, just if you are having worries with friendship groups, like, don't worry about talking to new people. Like, it's fine. Honestly, school is the perfect time to do that and like get used to social environments, I guess, because even if you feel like you're alone, trust me, everyone at school is in a similar boat. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's worried about keeping friends, everyone's worried about just like, you know, your average school standards, the way you look and what friends you have and grades, all of this stuff. Like, everyone's in the same similar situation. So definitely, for sure, they will come naturally, but don't be shy to talk to new people. There's a lot of questions to do with bullying, and like people are like worried about being bullied and stuff like that. Honestly, guys, when it comes to bullying, if you are in a situation where you feel like it's going to turn into bullying, because obviously bullying is something that happens over a long period of time, but if someone keeps making those comments at you and you feel like they are in a sense bullying you, do not be afraid to stand up for yourself, because the longer you let them make comments at you, then the more they'll target you, because bullies go for people that won't stand up for themselves or they don't think will stand up for themselves. So definitely just don't allow them to walk all over you, and speak to people that you trust about it, whether that's a teacher, your parents, your friends. Like, speak to people that you know you can trust and can support you in that situation. But yeah, honestly, like, even though it's so much harder said than it is done, stick up from yourself from the get-go. Do not let these people just keep having the opportunity to make comments at you and you say nothing back, because then they're going to do it all the more, because like I said, they go for people that they feel maybe are more timid or more shy or aren't going to say anything. But yeah, for sure, just stand your ground. Do not let these people walk all over you. I feel like a really good question to finish on is, someone said how to get into trouble rarely. Honestly, guys, at school, you are in control of everything. You're in control of the people that you hang around with. You're in control of the way that you act. You're in control with the way you want to be perceived at school, whether that's by your peers or your teachers or just people in that school environment. A big one is definitely, if you feel like you are hanging around with the wrong people, have a conversation with yourself. Don't let yourself keep getting buried into this friendship group, because my original friendship group, they were more the people to get told off all the time and things like that, and that's fine if that's what they want to do and they're comfortable with being told off all the time. But I wasn't happy with being told off. I don't like being told off. When I was at school, like, I was good. I would just follow the rules, you know what I mean? So definitely make sure you're hanging around with the right crowd, because you don't want to be dragged into something that you don't want to be a part of. Don't try to be the class clown, guys. Honestly, I know it happens to the best of us, but like, no one's actually laughing. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, knuckle down and do the work. Like, because trust me, teachers talk, and you don't want then other teachers to start treating you differently just because of the way you've acted in one class with one teacher, even if you dislike them. Do you know what I mean? And when you get into trouble, guys, like, just own it. Like, if you've been told off by a teacher, don't try to deny it. Just be like, you know what, I apologise, end of. If you get detention, just turn up to it. If you've upset someone or a teacher, just apologise, you know? Like, don't be like, I didn't do that, no I didn't, because they know you did it, you know you did it. Like, it's fine. Like, everyone is going to get told off in life. But yeah, definitely just try to avoid trouble where it is, and if you do get into trouble, just own it. Like, the times I got told off, I'd just be like, look, you know what, I apologise, like, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? Don't feel like you need to put on a front just because there's people watching or you're in a classroom. Just apologise, because at the end of the day, if people want to make comments, well, let them make comments. Like, you're just saying sorry, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, guys, detentions, if you get them, turn up to them, please, because the amount of friends that I had that wouldn't turn up to their detentions and the situation would just escalate. Then they're in isolation, then they're excluded. Like, just turn up to it. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It's like half an hour of your life. It honestly won't hurt. So, and use it as an opportunity as well. If you've got loads of homework to do, just do your homework. At least then you're still doing it at school, you're not doing it at home, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I really hope this video gave you a little bit of advice. If you're obviously, of course, starting school or you're going back to school in September, don't really know what to do, struggling for advice, I hope this helped you. And of course, massive thank you to Teddy Blake for giving me this gorgeous, gorgeous bag. This is honestly one of the loveliest things I've been gifted. and they do have some bigger size bags on their page that are more school appropriate. Obviously I went for like a kind of night out bag because I'm not in school anymore, but like I said, they are a little bit more on the higher end. So if you're looking for some more affordable places for bags, guys, Primark. I used to go Primark all the time for my bags. New Look, again, online, like if you literally just put in like school handbags, things will come up. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Bye guys. Good luck with school.